Hey guys, this is JP's LEGO Reviews. Today, I'm going to be going through how risky is LEGO investing in 2023. Now, this is my second video in the video series of basically how to invest in LEGO. So, let's break it down. Now, LEGO investing is riskier than it was before. And there are 7 reasons why it's riskier. So, let's again break it down. Now, the first reason why it's riskier is that the value for money per LEGO set has dropped. Now, let's look at these 2 UCS LEGO Star Wars sets. Here's the TIE Fighter from 2015. Now, this set has 1,700 pieces and it cost 280 Australian dollars. Meanwhile, with the Luke Landspeeders UCS set, these days, it actually sells for $370. Now, it has 1,900 pieces, so 200 piece difference. But that doesn't equate to an almost $90 difference. So, a few years ago, if the Luke Skywalker's Landspeeder released at the exact same time as the TIE Fighter, I guarantee the Landspeeder would have not cost more than $300. But now, with inflated prices and with LEGO just charging more in general, it now costs $370. And if a TIE Fighter was out right now, it could be up to $350, which is just ludicrous considering that the TIE Fighter only was released 7 years ago. But now, let's move on to how there are more displayable sets being released than ever. Now let's look at 2018 as an example. For LEGO Technic, they released 1 displayable set, which is the Bugatti Chiron. Now, in 2022, just 4 years later, they have released 3 displayable sets. The BMW bike, the Ferrari Daytona, and the McLaren Formula 1 set. Now, LEGO have actually released more cars than just these 3, but those ones are more intended for kids. Or they're intended for both, not just super displayable, they're also really easy to play with as well. Meanwhile, 1 versus 3 is actually a big difference. There are 3 times more displayable sets in 2022 than 2018. And the numbers start getting bigger and bigger when you're looking at larger themes with more displayable sets such as Star Wars and superheroes. But now, let's move on to how there is a more varied shelf life. Now, let's look at the modulars that have been released in the last 4 years. Now, not in the last 4 years, in a 4-year period. Now, with the Assembly Square that was released in 2017, it's been available for at least 7 years. Now, at the end of 2023, it'll be 7 years since this set has been released. Now, actually no, it's 7 years right now. Now, with the Downtown Diner, it was only on sale for 3 years. And it's actually the same story with the Corner Garage. But with the Bookshop being released in 2020, it currently has a 4-year lifespan. It could go for longer, but we just don't know yet. So, we see quite a bit of variance. Now, 2018 and 2019 are relatively similar, but the Assembly Square really breaks the rule, but the Bookshop breaks the rule of 3 years too by having an extra year. And it gets more varied, especially when it comes to sets being available right now, because LEGO are simply extending the life cycle of popular sets and cutting those which just simply aren't. So, it's harder to know when a set will retire. Now, when it comes to more content being released for different franchises, this means that just more shows and movies have been released than before, requiring more LEGO sets to be made, and this actually makes it harder to invest because you don't know which specific show or movie will work out. For example, with Star Wars, there was only 1 movie released in 2018, Solo. But now, in 2023, there are 4 shows that are slated to be released. That is The Mandalorian Season 3, Ahsoka, Bad Batch, and Skeleton Crew. Now, with DC, it's a similar story, from just one movie, Aquaman, to 3 movies in 2023. From off the top of my head, I believe it's Aquaman 2, Flash, and there was another one that I forgot. Now, when it comes to Marvel, it's even worse. Now, there used to be 3 movies that would come out each year. Now, in 2018, there was Infinity War, Ant-Man and the Wasp, and Black Panther. But now, there are 9 films coming out in 2023. There are probably 3 movies coming out within the first 3 months, or films of 2023 alone for Marvel. Now, when it comes to themes such as Avatar and Indiana Jones, these have actually been rebooted. Now, they were kind of dead, but now they've been rebooted, and LEGO are now building or manufacturing these themes as now LEGO sets. So, there's more sets you have to navigate if you should invest or not than ever. But there's even more. Now, there are higher chances than ever for re-releases to occur too. Now, let's look at some UCS sets, for example, such as the B-Wing, Imperial Shuttle, and the Slave One. Now, there's only been one version of each of these sets, but they could be re-released soon. Now, this happens to be because more ships from LEGO Star Wars are becoming relevant, and there's just more displayable stuff coming out in general, which is driving up the demand just for more displayable stuff to come out, including UCS ships. And with more ships being relevant, for example with the Boba Fett series, the Slave One was featured heavily, so that could have been an opportunity for LEGO to re-release a Slave One, which would have been great for consumers, but devastating for investors. Also, there have already been 10 re-release UCS sets that have been released in the entire UCS catalogue. That includes sets like the Sandcrawler, X-Wing, Y-Wing, Snowspeeder, Death Star, and quite a few more. But there have already been 10 re-releases, and they are definitely not going to be the last. Now, there are more recurring themes now than ever. Now, I said that Avatar and Indiana Jones have been rebooted, but there's just more themes that have kind of have maybe a few sets coming out per year now. So it's harder to actually track what LEGO themes you should consider buying simply just because there are more of them. Now, they include... Now, from 2015, there were only a few recurring themes: Scooby-Doo, Jurassic World, and The Simpsons. Now, these were licensed themes that had a few sort of sets come out within the year, but Scooby-Doo was cancelled, with The Simpsons and Jurassic World came back in 2018. So these themes stopped. Meanwhile, in 2023, there is The Lord of the Rings, Sonic the Hedgehog, that's a rumoured theme, but it's still a theme, Avatar, Indiana Jones, Super Mario, Jurassic World, and Harry Potter. Now, compare 3 kind of themes that have kind of been, have a few sets here and there from 2015, more than double the amount of recurring themes exist now. And they may, for example, get rid of Lord of the Rings in a year's time. And that means that it's harder to keep track of these separate themes because you just don't know what will do well or not, simply because there's just simply more there. But now, we reach the final issue, and this could be the worst one. The worsening financial situation globally. Now, this has to do with real life, consequences of the economy, which does actually affect LEGO investing. Now, for example, we're going to compare the European Union and the US in 2 main statistics. When it comes to the inflation rate, or basically let's say you have $100, it used to be able to buy you, say, 800 pieces of Lego, but now it's only able to buy you 600 pieces of Lego. That's what it means. Basically, the value of money that you have actually drops. So with the same money that you have, you can buy less stuff than what you're used to. And that is actually increasing in the EU this year by 10.1%. Meanwhile, in the US, it's increasing by 6.5%. Meanwhile, with the cost of living, and let's say it's $100,000 per person a year, just so that, you know, it's sort of consistent. And it's 100,000 of each currency, just to make it really easy to grasp. Now, with this inflation rate, the cost of living, if you want to maintain 100% of your purchases, it would be $10,000, 100 more in 2022 for the EU. Meanwhile, for the US, it would be $6,450 more than 2022. And this sort of money may not look too big compared to $100,000, but this is probably the money that most people use for commodities and for things that aren't necessary, such as vacations or hobbies such as Lego. And because of this, people may be buying less and less Lego simply because they need to put their money into things that are more important, such as bills and maintaining the things that they have, which are actually necessary. And because of this, Lego investing could simply go down simply because not many people are buying sets, which means that Lego set values will drop, meaning that the investment that you had may become not worthless, but it may become from a profit to a loss. And yeah, that could negatively affect Lego prices and Lego investing quite a lot. And off that, that's literally it. I want to thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please smash the like button. If you want to see more content just like this, please subscribe. And if you have any thoughts on this video, let me know down below. I hope you guys have a successful day and keep building.